What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and right now I will be doing a matchup tier list for Kazuya Mishima, my main. This was requested by a couple of viewers on my Twitch and I thought it could be interesting to take a look at it at least. And now that the game is bloated as, you know, like nothing else, there are 49 characters in a Tekken game. 100 moves each, 49 characters. I don't think anyone ever thought that was a good idea. It just happened because the game has been a financial success, and that means more content, more DLC. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to get more content, but every time I am about to make a tier list and I see the game in this format, or you know, the character select screen, I'm just reminded of how bloated it is. So I'm not even going to add every character into this, as you can see. I'm just going to focus on what I think is a really good matchup or a really bad matchup, and then in the neutral you can just put in anyone else. And do remember that this is my subjective opinion, it is my opinion alone, so take it as you want, add 50 pinches of salt. This is how I see it, and I'm by no means a uber god at Tekken, absolutely not. I'm a Tekken content creator, and it's my biggest hobby. So, as good matchup, as you can see, I've put Sergey Dragunov in the first slot. And this is because Dragunov will come at you with very strong mids, you know, like, crazy frames. He will chop at you and you'll keep up your guard. And hopefully you have good throw breaks, so that he can't threaten you with that, although his throw game is very strong. But as soon as he wants to throw a low at you, or stop you from stepping, or just he wants an immediate high crush, if he wants any of those, his go-to move is down 2. His go-to low is down 2. That move is minus 13 on block. So that means Kazuya twin pistons it, and yeah, that's a huge problem for Dragunov fighting Kazuya. And that's why I feel Dragunov does very poorly versus Kazuya. And then you have Brian. Again, you want to break a turtle. You might use as a 50-50 his hatchet kick, which has been greatly buffed now, does more damage, it's +5 on hit. But again, it's minus 13. Your go-to low gets smoked by Kazuya's twin pistons. And again, Brian doesn't have the best poking, and neither does Kazuya, but so that's, you know, in favor of Kazuya. If Kazuya has bad poking, you don't want to go up against a character that has strong poking. So yeah, Brian also gets smoked. Gigas gets smoked by pretty much everyone. Does Gigas even have a good matchup? But it's certainly not, he's not going to fare better versus Kazuya, where he's down back 2. Again, a vital low to him gets launch punished by the twin pistons. And then you have Jin, and this one is a little bit more controversial, considering Jin is obviously, in my opinion, well, not quite obviously, but he's notably stronger than Kazuya, I would say. But even in, was it season 1 or season 2, Ni opted to play Kazuya versus Book at a tournament, which I think Book won, but I feel that Ni picked Kazuya because Kazuya gets twin pistons on Jin's down back 4, and he used to get twin pistons on, or Jin's down back 4, that's what I said, right? And he used to get twin pistons on Jin's down 4 as well, but then that was turned into minus 12 for some reason. But still, I feel getting twin pistons on Jin's down back 4 is a big deal, because that's his momentum building low. And Kazuya's electric being so buffed is a problem for Jin, as Jin's electric is 1 frame slower and doesn't recover as well, as quickly. So actually, I would say that is a good matchup for Kazuya. But yeah, it could be a controversial pick. And then Paul, not the best poker, good for Kazuya. And his core circle forward 3, vital poke, go to low poke. That's his range low poke, it's important. Launch punishable by Kazuya, big problem. Hwoarang can pressure like crazy, and this can be a problem if you're playing Kazuya. But if you have a lot of patience, and you have some good reads, and you get those ducks on those highs, Hwoarang is destroyed. The twin pistons are just so strong. Any character where it's a big deal, you know, ducking highs and punishing quickly, Kazuya just always gets the job done with those twin pistons. And Hwoarang is no Steve with that flicker that will, you know, tag you no matter what when you try and twin piston. So I feel like Hwoarang players have to be very careful versus Kazuya. And then we have Lars. Lars again, you gotta duck some highs, down for 2-1. Step, launch him, very punishable overall. Yeah. Well, does he have, again, it's a little bit like Gigas, does he even have good matchups? Devil Jin, again, just like Dragunov, as soon as you want that high crush low with down back 2, you know, you want to be a little bit safer. It's not minus 12 anymore, it's minus 13, so you get twin piston launched. And another problem for Devil Jin in this matchup is that Kazuya's electric is 1 frame faster. And that's a big deal in Mishima battles. So that one I also actually give to Kazuya. And an epic match you can watch here is actually Shrimbu from Saudi Arabia playing against Kudans in the Invitational in Dubai, I think. It's an incredible set where Shrimbu actually prevails versus the Mishima god Kudans. So if you want to see that matchup, do check that out. And then Heihachi doesn't have any lows, got great pressure, great highs, great mids, but again, Kazuya's electric trumps his. Forward 4-2 gets punished by forward 4-2. So Kazuya punishes Heihachi's forward 4-2. And then his down forward 1-2 doesn't have pushback at all these days, so twin pistons will, no matter what, punish it. And that is a big problem for Heihachi. So he has the pressure here going up against Kazuya, but he can't do anything. And his down back 4, which he can get away with versus some characters, is launch punished by Kazuya. Although this, where Kazuya has to be really close for this to happen. But still, it's I don't feel it's a matchup in favor of Heihachi at all. Eddie gets smoked by Kazuya. A Kazuya with good anti-capo, like I don't know what Eddie's supposed to do. He gets punished so badly on everything. Down foot 3+4, dash electric. Any move into Negativa, like while standing 1-3 or back 3-3, Kazuya not only punishes, he gets a juggle, he can pick up with back 2-4. It's a big problem for Eddie. And forward 4, you know, just dealing with Eddie on the ground. Eddie can't sidestep Kazuya's 50-50. He has no sidestep. Not having a sidestep when you're fighting against Kazuya, it's, let's just say it's not a picnic. He has a great backdash, but it's not going to save him. No, I feel this is a bad matchup for Eddie. And Eddie has a 13 frame while standing launcher just like Kazuya. But Kazuya can do down back 4, that's only minus 12, and still is a great low. So yeah, that one I do not put in favor of Eddie. Then we have Nina, again, a lot of tools and strings that where she does highs. She relies a lot on highs. She gets killed. Bad range, terrible down forward 1. Poking is not as good as it could be. Down back 3 is launch punishable, minus 13. Yeah, I just think that Kazuya really gets to shine here with his punishment. And then Negan, great pressure, which can be a problem for Kazuya players. But again, key lows, intimidation down 2, down back 2, both of those lows. Oh, and down back 4, let's not forget about that. Down back 4. Those 3 key lows are all twin piston punishable. Big problem. And then add the electric. Yeah, it's quite problematic for Negan. But this is also where Kazuya players have to be careful not to fall for the pressure. And then Anna just gets obliterated by Kazuya's punishment. Yeah, I mean, most characters destroy her when it comes to that. But I think just Kazuya overall, his punishment tools are just so strong that it just, yeah, it's just 11 out of 10 in terms of destroying Anna. If he knows the matchup very well, of course. So now we are at the bad matchups, and Steve is number 1 here. I've actually dedicated a video to this. Steve has a very unique gameplay design and character design, where a lot of characters are just completely anti. No, Steve is just completely anti certain characters. His particular design, and it's just being super safe. You can't really punish him, and then not being able to sidestep him really. And then him having arguably the best counter-hit launcher in the game in back 1. Kazuya has a big lack of high crush, and he's a little bit slow to get going. And that 13 frame just obliterates Kazuya. He has almost nothing he can do to counter it. And then Steve pressures very well, also a problem for Kazuya. The worst matchup in the game for Kazuya. I have a whole video dedicated to that, so you can check that out if you want to. And then Akuma. Oh, Kazuya wants to 50-50. Akuma can jump away. Oh, I'm gonna get some 50-50 now. He tech rolls into an EX Shoryuken, so you have to be very careful even pressuring in Oki situation, Akuma. And then just Akuma having some of the most absurd tools in the game. Yeah, I just don't feel this is a good matchup for Kazuya. And his Kazuya standing 4 is a good anti-air though. But overall, I feel Akuma is not a good matchup for Kazuya. But Akuma is a terrible matchup for most characters. Geese has incredible pressure. It's a little bit range based, but I just feel like I don't know what to do when Geese is pressuring me heavily. I know the matchup very well. It's just that Geese poking is very, very strong, and his best low sidestep 3 is only -12, +6 on normal hit, launcher on counter hit. But, you can play him very safe and get big rewards. Geese is arguably the best character in the game right now. Either way. Law, excellent poking, pressures Kazuya to death. Downback 3 is only -12. Magic 4, one of the best in the game, just destroys Kazuya at Magic 4. Again, it's that lack of high crush and sluggishness with Kazuya. Again, Kazumi, same problem. Pressures Kazuya to death. Incredible Magic 4. Stays extremely safe. Outpokes Kazuya. Fantastic movement. Problematic for Kazuya. But Kazuya does get twin pistons on down forward 1-2. And that's at least something. But yeah, I feel like Kazumi is a very bad matchup for Kazuya. Jack can keep Kazuya away almost at all times with his excellent range and pushback and spacing control. Downback 1 is very safe. Yeah, I feel like Kazuya is not good versus Jack. Julia, oh god, godlike character. Incredible space control, completely dictates when you fight. Kazuya is never safe at space with her. When you space her out, you can just get in your face in 1 second. Can be played very safe, very rush down, pressure heavy. But overall, it's godlike character. Lee, I also put at bad matchup, even though Kazuya can launch some of his key lows, where a lot of characters can do that, down 3. Launch punishable by pretty much everyone, not Marduk and Gigas. But he has a very strong Magic 4, he has a very strong down forward 1. Strong keep out, bad for Kazuya. Pretty damn strong poking, bad for Kazuya. Yeah, I feel like Kazuya doesn't excel in this matchup. Bob, again, very pressure heavy, can be played quite safe. Yeah, has some weird tracking. Hell Sweep, that's almost homing. Problematic for Kazuya. Alisa, again, just like Julia, can control the space very well, get in a second on you. It's very hard to space her. She has some of the best movement in the game. She can be played extremely safe. She has incredible range on a lot of her tools, mainly her key pokes. Her punishment is excellent. Just from a fundamental perspective, it's like I don't feel like Kazuya can really touch her. She, an excellent Alisa player, yeah, versus an excellent Kazuya player, I just see the Alisa player taking that. She's just fundamentally so strong. So this was my subjective opinion. In my opinion, at the top there, you can see where I think you as a Kazuya player would do well if you know what you're doing. But to the bottom there, I feel like that's where you're just going to have a lot of problems. And again, I'm far from the most knowledgeable person in terms of Tekken. It's quite a lot to study in this game. So if you feel you have some great insight and you'd like to contribute, just feel free to use the comment section to give your opinion on my list or make your own list. I think a lot of people would be interested in reading that. Could be nice to have a conversation on the topic. And in terms, of course, of Jack, you know, strong keeping you away, like Fakumram with his incredible movement, weird hitbox, and range, Kazuya's gonna have a hard time getting in. But again, Fakumram has a big lack of high crush, and electric is gonna be a problem for him. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you thought it was interesting, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care, everybody.